Welcome my brother in humanity. Peace upon you. Today, this is we are going to resume talking about my working paper. This is the part of number 20. Today, we are going to talk about the lease insurance. As you know, the one of the factor which affect or complicate the housing problem is the relation between the tenant and the landlord or the owner, because there was a problem on the rent formula, and in my working paper, I explained this new formula, new rent formula, in a previous video. Today, another problem is when the landlord give the tenant the flat, he afraid of the tenant can make damage to the tenant, to the flat. So this is a problem. This is another problem for the relation, because the rent is like marriage. It's between two parties. Here we have to make a good relation between the tenant and the landlord. Today we are going to talk about lease insurance. Lease insurance. This is the look about my working paper. It's a fact. Today, my friend asking me a new questions. He say, a lease contract is a compensating contract. Why should the tenant pay an insurable value at the beginning of the decade, despite paying the rental value agreed? If the rent, the duty of the tenant to pay the money, the rental value. So why he make pay the lease insurance? Let us the first definition of the rent. Rent is the benefit of housing. The tenant takes the benefit of housing, and the landlord takes the rental value. This is apartment. This is money. But here, when the landlord he takes the restore or retakes the apartment after the contract expire or end, the flat must be shape. It's in good shape, like the tenant received the apartment. This is another problem. So many landlord afraid of rent his apartment for this reason. So in this video we deal with it. What is the insurance here? What is I mean here? It is an insurance value that is taken from the tenant, is kept in the housing fund, and refunded to the owner at the end of contract. That means every new renter or tenant should pay money as per specified basis in a real estate fund, to be paid to the owner in sum of money equal to the rent of 6 months. That means 6 multiply the rental value of last month, not the beginning months. But he in the beginning the tenant he pay 6 multiplied by the first month he rent. But in the end he must multiply this by the rental value of the last month at the end of the rent contract for refurnishing the flat, or make it ready for leave in or rent it to another tenant. Here the process like this: the tenant give the money, keep the money in the housing fund. In housing fund, this is multiply the first rental, the rental value of the first month multiplied by 6. Keep it here in the housing fund. At the end of when the lease expired or ended, the housing fund must give the landlord this value, and he is responsible to give the landlord this value and ask the tenant to complete if the value here more than the value here. So this is insurance to resume the contract, to refurnish the apartment, or make a new painting for the apartment. I give you an example. Example is the area apartment. Its area 100 square meters. And the contract start, the rental value, it will be to real estate rental bound. If the real estate rental bound equals £2, then the rent will be 400. So the tenant must pay 2,400. This is 40, the rental value of 1 month, multiplied by 6. This money will keep in a housing fund. So at the end of contract, assume the real estate rental bound reached £4. Then the tenant will pay 8 multiply 6, £4,800. This money must the landlord takes this money, and the housing fund is responsible to give the landlord this sum, and ask the tenant to complete the difference, or pay the difference between this money and this money. This means here the tenant must pay more 400 more. The reason why, in order why we make this insurance, in order for the owner to be able to repair the apartment to lease again to another tenant, because the apartment is not four walls or bamboo or mud, but it is flooring and windows, floor and windows, and so on. It is estimated by lot of money. So we have must the apartment be repaired again. Second, according to the Hadith of Prophet Muhammad, peace upon him, on hand means the man which had taken until it returns, and saying, if you take one of belongings of your brother was serious or jest, and if one took a stick, he has returned it as it was. The same apartment must be as in the shape like the tenant must keep the apartment like he take it when he take it. So the return here means must be valid for use. The amount of money paid to furnish and paint the apartment. Number 3, in order to use the mortgage amount, this value, lower lease insurance, in the housing fund to lend who wants to build as a social cooperation, and to avoid evading of homeowners from tax by a fake contract leases to some people. In last video, I talk about the vacant apartment tax. That so many landlords can make a fake contract to avoid this tax. But in this case, when he make a contract for himself or another man, the fake contract, he must pay this value. So he make to avoid this trick. Number 4, the author usually estimates the rental value of the apartment taking into account the damage cost which may be caused by tenant during the period of lease. So he added much value, but with the application of this item or this lease insurance, the rental value will be less, because the landlord guarantees that he will receive money to rebuild his apartment again. To contact or discussion about Moroccan paper, I have to talk to me at any time in this mobile or by email, and this is my Skype name, Nabil Mahasin, Skype or LinkedIn or Twitter at any time you want.